welcome to a Thought for the Day for Monday. Apologies that I wasn't able to get this out earlier on today. I had to take the car to the garage and sort out some stuff with the car, but here we are in early afternoon, so it gives you something to reflect on today. And apologies for the background noise as well. There's building works going on, and but you know, in some ways that is authentic to life, isn't it? That even when we try to come to focus on what God is saying to us, there are disruptions, there is background noise, there are things that might try and draw our minds away from what is happening in this present moment, and the discipline that it is, even amongst the noise that is going around, to quieten ourselves and to reflect on Him. And I just want to reflect on what I've been reading today with you, which is about covenant, our covenant God. So a covenant, it says here in the Bible, was an unbreakable contract written not in ink but in blood. You'd kill an animal and say, if I don't keep my promise, let me die like this animal. God made a covenant like this with his children and said, I will always love you. We were supposed to promise, and we will always love you too. But we ran from God and we broke our side of the contract, and the law called for our deaths, and yet God spared us. How? Did he just ignore the law? No. God himself kept our side of the contract for us, and in Jesus died instead of us. God's promise to always love us is written in blood, the blood of his Son. And the verse to reflect upon is from Matthew 26, verse 26 and 28, which says, "This is my blood, which confirms the covenant between God and his people." Those wonderful words that we reflect on in communion, and we reflected on yesterday as we shared communion together. This is a fantastic book, by the way, Thoughts to Make Your Heart Sing, which I've been reading through and which I've been reflecting a little bit with you as well, by Sally Lloyd-Jones and Jago. So if you can have a look at that, then I'd encourage you. It's well worth doing so. Covenant. Covenant is, as the book said, an ancient form of contract, a promise that you would take certain animals and you would cut them in half, and you place the two halves on either side, creating a walkway, and that you and the person that you were creating the covenant with would walk up the middle of these two halves of animals, and there were several animals that were involved in the process. And that you would say, if I break my side of the covenant, let what has been done to these animals be done to me. So covenant was a serious thing. And why we read about that Jesus comes to take our side of the covenant. We ever wondered, why did God need to become human in order to save us? Well, it's exactly in that understanding of covenant, that side of the covenant that was broken was a human side of the covenant. God did not break his covenant, so it needed a human being to stand as a representative for humanity, for the human side of the covenant. And so God becomes human in order that, as a human being, might take on the consequences of that break in the covenant, but as the one who is God, might forge a new covenant, a living covenant, a new and everlasting covenant of love, and fulfill that side of it on behalf of humanity as well. That the new covenant, yes, is between people and God, but is fulfilled not in human beings keeping the law, but in Jesus himself, who is both human and God together in perfect relationship and uncomplicated harmony in that sense, although it's obviously very complicated for us to try and understand that. So Jesus takes your place. your place as a human being. And notice that it's human being, and I don't use the word man because, you know, if Jesus died as a man in a gendered sense, then how would women be represented in that new covenant? No, Jesus dies as a human being, representing both men and women, and bringing them into that covenant. If Jesus had died simply as a Jew, and that the Jews would have been rescued from that, then how would we as non-Jewish people be able to experience that new life? No, Jesus died as a human being, representing all of humanity, so that whether you are male or female, or black or white, or somewhere in between, or whether you are British or Jewish or American or European, it doesn't matter, that Jesus is our perfect representative and takes our place and guarantees us our new place because of what he's done. So may you know today that because of what Jesus has done, that all of the promises of that covenant are yes for you. Yes, yes in Jesus, because he takes your place and because he invites you to your rightful place now. A life that goes on and on and on, now and forever. Amen. So God bless you in what remains of this day, and stay safe, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow morning.